Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Belief Bag, where we talk about prophetic dreams and visions and exit and investment strategies for the wealth transfer and our crypto bags. I am Kelly, and I'm so glad to be with you today. Okay, so today we're going to actually talk about an XRP dream. So let me get started and set the scene for you, and then I'll tie everything together on the confirmations that I received too. So they were pretty spectacular. So yesterday morning, I dropped my daughter off at school, and like I do a lot of mornings now that I'm not working, I go and I sit somewhere around the lake and take in the beauty of the lake and pray. And yesterday I asked Lord to guide my way, to make my path straight, and acknowledging that his ways are better than my ways and higher than my ways. And I asked, what, now that I'm not working, what would you like me to talk to the community about? What do you want me to release on my channel? And so now I'm going to go back to the night before. So the night before, around 10:30 p.m., I was on YouTube and I came across Prophetic Insight, Greg Smith, I believe his name is, and Greg released a confirmation video on XRP. And it was called Triple Confirmation of XRP Over $200 and the Pope's Death. And so right after I watched this video of his, I sent the link to my spouse's phone so he would see it in the morning. And I said something like, "Sound familiar?" You see, on December 20th of 2024, Scott had a significant XRP dream. But I was hesitant to share, and I'll kind of tie that in at the end of why I was hesitant to share. But I'm going to go ahead and play the clip of the triple confirmation of XRP over $200. Then I'm going to share the dream with you, okay? So let me go ahead and play this clip. And then, by the way, the full video will be is linked in the comments above. So please go like and watch the full video.
All right, I just received 3 emails this morning, each one of them prophetic about XRP and XRP going over $200. One of them is tied to the death of the Pope. I'm going to read that last. Bear with me because I got to scroll through my phone. But anyhow, just wanted to share this. So last night, my son had a dream. He said that he came downstairs and I was sitting on a couch crying. I said, "It's hopeless." Now, this is a dear saint, and I've been praying for her. She's been going through a lot. Single mom. She's been on my channel since I started. Very faithful. And anyhow, so she reached out to me this morning, and of course, I'm not going to say her name, but she said to absolutely share this with the community because it's encouraging, and I think it is as well. So her son sees her on the couch crying in a dream, and she says, "It's hopeless. There's nothing more I can do, and there's no hope." He began telling me, "It's okay. Insurance is going to pay out. We will get money from them, and he will be forced to pay child support." So the ex-spouse hasn't been paying child support. Single mom that's bearing the brunt of all the responsibilities with the family and the children. He'll be forced to pay child support. There is a settlement. There are settlements because of the divorce. It will come through. We just have to wait, Mom. It's okay. He said that in the dream, he went to bed and he woke up and he had received a check from from the insurance company. It was over $400,000. We paid off our debts and we put $200,000 on XRP. And as soon as they put the $200,000 on XRP shot up to $242 a coin. He said, "I wonder if it's a blessing that we are waiting for XRP to take off for so long, because it will buy us time to buy more." Now, she goes on to tell me, she sends me another email. She said, "I was just speaking with," this was somebody in our Telegram group, she's a commentator on our Telegram group, and she interprets dreams and sensitive in the spirit. I'll say that, and I'll just leave it at that without saying her name. But she was telling her about the dream, And she said the Lord just told her the other day to put sell orders on XRP at $180, which puts it just above 240 Canadian dollars. Now, the dear sister who sent me the dream, she's in Canada, and the Lord, in her son's dream, XRP went to $242 Canadian money. So she gets confirmation from our other sister in our Telegram group, and the Lord just told this sister to put sell orders on XRP at $180, which is a little over $240 Canadian, almost exactly, she said. God's speaking, y'all. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just here to share encouraging words and dreams. This is of the Lord. There's way too many of us that are seeing and hearing these things, and the road has been long, and I pray that this is a breath of encouragement.
So now that you've seen that, I want to tell you about Scott's dream, okay? So 12/20 of 2024, Scott woke up and he told me that he had a dream of XRP. And I was so excited because, first of all, he's never had a prophetic dream before. He's never had a crypto dream before. And when he was recalling the dream to me, I never asked who was with him in the dream. So he started off, he said, I was with a buddy of mine, and find out this was an old classmate of his, okay? But I never really got much clarification on that until yesterday. So we'll get back to that. So Scott is standing with an old classmate of his, and the classmate says, wow, did you see the price of XRP? I'm selling right now. And Scott looked at the price, and the price was $153. Immediately, he tried to get a hold of me and couldn't get a hold of me. And he was thinking, oh, she is on it. Like she's got to be selling right now. But wasn't completely confident that I was selling. And after he couldn't get a hold of me, he looked at his crypto price app, like probably CoinMarketCap. And he saw that XRP had got as high as $200, okay? And when they saw it, it was coming back down. When they saw it was at $153, but it had hit $200 and it was dropping. So fast forward, he said he was fumbling with his phone. He couldn't get a hold of me. He got onto the app. He saw that it hit $200 first and was coming back. So when they saw it was $153, his buddy sold. When he saw me in person, he's like, did you sell? And I'm like, oh no, XRP's going up. Apparently I was, I didn't give him the answer he wanted. And we sold at, when he finally got in touch with me in person, it was $53, okay? So it went up to touch 200. His buddy sold at 153. By the time he got a hold of me, it was $53. So he tells me this dream, and I write it in my notes and I tuck it away because there's a few different reasons. Let me go on from here. As I'm sitting there, looking at the beauty of the lake, I'm thinking of those confirmation dreams of XRP over $200 that Greg was sharing. And I'm like, Lord, are you telling me now is the time to release this dream? So I'm praying, and I click on another video of Greg's he released, because I was back on that $200 video, just replaying that part. And so I actually did, I went through the whole video, I believe. And just to, kind of get my head back on Scott's dream. And after I was done, I clicked on a live that he had just a few nights ago. And it was called More XRP Confirmation. So I'm playing this through my radio, through my phone. And all of a sudden, so I had been praying, like, Lord, what do you want me to release? And are you telling me to release this after seeing that dream last night? And I'm sitting there, and I'm starting to play this new video of his. And it comes to me, Kelly, you need to ask what this gentleman's name was that was his buddy that was in the dream with him. You've never asked that. So I stopped the video and I call him up and I'm like, hey, who was that guy in the dream with you? And he said his name, he's like, Cody. And I know who Cody is, but it was a previous classmate of his, but I am actually friends with him on Facebook. And Cody does invest in crypto. I don't know if he's invested in XRP, but he invests in crypto. I do know that. But Cody, and I'm like, Cody, how can that relate to the Bible? There's no name in the Bible. What is that pointing me to, Lord? And so I get onto Grok, X's AI, and I'm typing in, what's the origin of Cody, right? And this is what comes up. Okay, so when I ask Grok says that Cody, in English it means helper, derived from the Gaelic surname meaning descendant of the helpful one, or from the Irish word coda, referring to a cushion or pillow. And I literally laughed, and I said, oh my goodness, this is my confirmation pillow. This is crazy, Lord. This is how the Holy Spirit, when you get into a flow. So last week, the Lord pointed, my eyes paused on the word pillow. And as my eyes paused on this word pillow, I got a text at the same exact time. And I'm like, what are you trying to say, Lord? Pillow. And I look at my text and it's from My Pillow, the company. And I'm like, okay, Lord, you're really saying something here about pillow. Last week when pillow was brought up to me, I looked it up in the Bible. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's something here. And so this is what I discovered. So Jacob, later renamed Israel by God, had a vision, right? Jacob, fleeing from his brother Esau, stops to rest at a place called Luz. And Jacob, using a stone as a pillow, he dreams of a ladder or a stairway reaching from earth to heaven, with angels ascending and descending on it. God stands above the ladder and speaks to Jacob. So you know this story, right? A lot of you probably do. Reaffirming the covenant made with Abraham, that Jacob's descendants will inherit the land. His descendants will multiply greatly and bless all nations. And they become the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And remember I told you on the last video, God's been speaking to me about the 12 tribes of Israel and his descendants. So God also promises to protect Jacob in this vision and bring him back to the land. Upon waking, Jacob is awestruck, declaring the place the house of God. So he renames Luz as Bethel, meaning, again, house of God. Now, let me tell you, 3-4 weeks ago, Bethel was I was being reminded of Bethel and what it meant. But he sets up the stone that he had laid his head on as a pillar and vows to worship God. So this pillow, this stone Jacob uses as a pillow, is significant as it becomes a memorial pillar, symbolizing the sacredness of the encounter. And the ladder represents a connection between heaven and earth, illustrating that divine human communication and God's presence and accessibility. And Christ as the mediator, like John 1, chapter 1, verse 51, where Jesus tells Nathanael, very truly I tell you, you will see heaven open and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man. The dream underscores God's faithfulness to the covenant, his protection over Jacob, and the promise of a future nation, Israel. Bethel becomes a key worship site. So here I am, blown away from the Holy Spirit that indeed there is pillow in the Bible. And I'm clearly they got to rest their heads somewhere, but that this significant dream that this pillow was memorialized as a pillar of, the sacredness of the encounter in this house of God. So I tell Scott this, I just looked up pillow. This is what I was brought back to. Oh my goodness, this is my confirmation to release this $200 XRP dream. And so I'm like, okay, I started thinking, okay, I've got to make this video. And I'm like, I got to get home. And so before I put my car into drive, I put on Greg's video again, the one, more XRP confirmations, the live that he did. And as I'm driving home, this is the clip that plays for me. Let me play it.
Lord told me way before I started this YouTube channel, it's not his time. God says it's my time. He's going to exalt his church throughout the whole earth. Everybody will see his glory in his church. And he's given everybody a chance to come into his church. Remember, we talked about portals. Jacob fell asleep, if you missed that message, at the place where his grandfather built an altar. And while he slept at a place called Bethel, the house of God, he saw a ladder from heaven to earth, angels ascending and descending. And he said, the Lord is in this place. And he named the place Bethel, which means the house of God in Hebrew. Fast forward to John in the New Testament, Gospel of John. Jesus prophesies or operates in the word of knowledge. Nathaniel, I saw you under the tree. And he's like, wow, you must be the Christ. And Jesus said, you're going to see greater than this. You will see the angels of God ascending and descending upon the Son of Man, meaning I am the portal of God. I am the door, and I am the church of the living God. Jacob said, angels ascending, descending, the Lord was above. This is the house of God, Bethel. Jesus says, you will see angels ascending and descending upon me, the Son of Man, for I am the house of God. Hallelujah.
Jacob's ladder, another very strong confirmation that this video needed to get out. So God is so good. So here I am. I want you to think of all the dreams and how many times we've been told price points. But with these price points, so many times it's being shown that we're fumbling with apps. We can't get on exchanges. Buy and sell orders are so important, right? And remember my elevator dream. If you don't remember, please go back in the, I think it may have been in October I talked about this. And I'll link it above. You know what? I'll link it above. And I talk about how when I was on my son's campus, I had a free-falling elevator dream and I was at peace, but I knew I was going down with my crypto bags, okay? I hardly ever dream. And when I do dream, there's just a few and then they're significant. And so then I had a follow-up dream. And the follow-up dream was I woke in my childhood home, in my childhood bedroom, so my father's house, and I was adamant. I kept repeating, Kelly, remember your elevator dream, withdraw some XRP. Now, mind you, all of my XRP is on cold storage at this time, okay? I've been accumulating since 2020, and so this might not apply to all, but for me, it applies, okay? So I've been accumulating since 2020, not cashed out any, and I would be very sad if we went up and I came back down with that crypto bags and not sold some, okay? Some. Not all. But so here I am. I'm repeating, Kelly, remember your elevator dream. Withdraw some XRP. Kelly, remember your elevator dream. Withdraw some XRP. And I went down our staircase. We had these spiral stairs. So I remember going down the spiral stairs in my dream. And I walk into our main living room. And I look over and my brother, John, is sitting, one of my older brothers, is sitting in my father's chair. I think that's significant. But the whole dream, I think it was saying this was a dream from the Lord, right? From your father. And maybe there's more to it, not sure. But the whole dream was to remember that elevator dream, the free-falling elevator dream, and I knew I was going down with my crypto bags. I was at peace, but I knew my bags were full. Here I am telling myself, withdraw some XRP from cold storage. Okay. So I knew that there had to be sell order set, okay? So I had sell orders set from other people's dreams between $10 and $15 because there's dreams of XRP going up to $15 and coming back down, right? And I will put that in comments up above. And I'm sure there's other ones that I just can't think of right now. So I had originally had my originally had my sell order set at those price points. So now, of course, I've moved them up. So I've moved them up between $14 and $200 now, just to clarify. And I have them spread out between different stable coins too, USD, USDC, and FYI, Kraken now has RLUSD, Ripple's new stablecoin. So if you have not done it yet, you may want to, not financial advice or investment advice. You have to take everything back to the Lord and make sure that this applies for you too in your situation. I don't know how much XRP you have. I don't know what the Lord told you price points, because here's the thing, and this is why I haven't released this yet. I started realizing that our crypto bags, what we're going to receive is in really a direct proportion to how aligned we are. And so when Scott got that dream, I thought, gosh, maybe that just applies to us. And I didn't want to give any false hopes because I hadn't heard of any XRP dreams where the price had gone up that high and was coming back down. Okay, so maybe I've told you all that many of the dreams, it happens overnight. It happens with big pulls of liquidity in both direction waves, right? So this is why I think the buy and sell orders are so important. Again, please take it back to the Lord and pray on it and see if this makes sense for you. But I wanted to give confirmation to those other people as well that the lady was told to set sell limit orders for her XRP at that price point. And so please review the whole video of Greg's. Again, linked above. You can review the other clip that I have about Jacob's ladder. And let me see what else I have here. And like I said, this wealth transfer, it's an inside job. And how aligned are you with God's truth, God's love? What's coming out of your mouth on a daily basis to yourself and to others? Live in the now so you can recognize those programs that have been ingrained into your brain and start leveling yourself up, changing those programs, because the truth of it is we're made in God's image, and God's image is love. And so anything but love is false. And so light, he said, let there be light, right? Pure love. Let there be light. Darkness is false. We're not down in that darkness anymore. We're not down in that ego anymore. We have to overcome that. And it's a perspective shift. And it's a state of being love, not just loving. Jesus had love in his heart. He had light in his heart. And we're going to be pillars of that light with Jesus as our cornerstone, which has been cornerstone was over and over months ago was just being brought up to me that Jesus was our cornerstone, that he that we need to align with his ways, right? The love in his heart. So, and I just want to bring up like James chapter 3, verse 5 through 10. The tongue is compared to a small spark that can ignite a forest fire. Let's stop lighting forest fires in our lives and in others. Proverbs, the words of the reckless pierce like swords, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. Matthew chapter 12, 36 through 37, Jesus says, "For by your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned." Our words have power. Our thoughts, our actions, and our intentions have power. God's loving energy is flowing through us. What we do with this is our free will, right? So do you want to be a part of rippling out any more darkness in the world? Because I tell you, I sure don't. And I'm so upset with myself when I do, when I slip. And, but I also know love is forgiveness, right? So I aim to always be better. And that's why I'm bringing this up today, just as a, remember it, reset yourself, and get yourself back into alignment. And you're going to have to do this all the time. Your brain's going to go to those negative thoughts. Jump to a good one, right? Think of it like whenever you start going down in the dumps, whenever you participate in gossip, whenever you pick up your habit or whatever it may be that you try to get rid of, and you stumble, immediately correct yourself. That's how you start reprogramming yourself. And that's part of being a human. But we're not being of this world. We are living from our spirits, and we're not in the flesh. We're not in the ego. This is really learning to be what Jesus was teaching us to be. And just as important, believe, know, have faith that you are a part of what God is doing here, and that you are worthy to be a part of this. You and I have been refined by fire, and we have overcome so we can be those pure conduits of God's infinite love. That adversity has refined us, just like other people's adversity is refining them. That's why we can't judge it. Because of our free will, it's very important to be in that state of submission every day. Just like I said this, yesterday morning and this morning again. Lord, I know your ways are higher than my ways, and you'll make my path straight. I will follow. Remember, the kingdom of God is in the midst of you. Romans chapter 14, 17. And like I heard in January, and I shared with you in 2 videos ago, sin is the veil that keeps us from experiencing God's heaven here on earth. Remember that, and you've got this. So, couple things. I'm going to reiterate. See if buy and sell orders make sense to you, okay? I've watched a lot of dreams. Things have been pointed out to me. A lot of times things are happening overnight. And if there's multiple waves, do you have buy and sell orders set? RLUSD is on Kraken, and that is the only one I know right now that has RLUSD. Also remember that the Zaman wallet, XAMAN, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you can offload to your bank if you want to take some funds and send them to your bank with the Topper, I think it's Topper Sell app. It's within that wallet, okay? Watch a video on it. YouTube, say Zaman, Topper Sell, and I think there's Topper Buy too, like you can bring in money. But you can also set up a trust line, RLUSD, on that Zaman wallet, as well as I think some of your other cold wallets probably have RLUSD. So let's say you have a lot of funds. when those sell orders go right off and you want to move them into RLUSD and move them off at exchange for a bit. That would be a location where you could literally set some RLUSD in that XAMAN wallet. Okay, it used to be called XUM or XUMM, ZUM. So just keep that in mind. All you have to do, Google it, watch a YouTube video on how to execute that. And I believe I also 2 videos ago put in a description of how to do that. So please go back and watch that video. I hope this video and this XRP dream blessed you. Again, not financial advice, not investment advice. And something that was pointed out to me today. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I wanted to give a special thank you to Johanna and me some funds through PayPal, and it was very nice. But really, what really blessed me was her heart. And she said that video 2 videos ago changed her. And someone else told me that in my family. And so I hope it blessed you too. And thank you so much to all those in the community, to those that are praying for me, that have sent me a monetary gift. Thank you so very much. I'm praying for you all, and I appreciate you all. And I hope to be back with you soon. God bless. Have a good night.